Young and the Restless spoilers confirm Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, is kidnapped this week. Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, immediately takes credit for snatching him, but there may be more to this. It could be a terrifying blast from Jack Abbott's past, and that is Patty Williams, Stacey Hyduck. It was recently revealed that Stacey Hyduck is returning as Patty Williams this March, the month we are in, so literally any time now. Stacey Hyduck started filming at the beginning of February, so literally any time she could be on screen. This comes after a decade-long absence for Patty. Paul Williams' Doug Davidson, little sister, was last seen in 2015. At that point, she had gotten tangled up with Ian Ward and eventually landed back in a high-security psychiatric institution. That was kind of when she just fell off the radar because she was off-screen. The actress has been under contract on Days of Our Lives for quite a while now. So now Patty's coming back to Young and the Restless. Head writer Josh Griffith recently said about her return that he couldn't be more excited to welcome back Stacey for this exciting storyline where trouble once again finds Patty Williams. By trouble, I think they mean Victor Newman. I suspect she is back for this new kidnapping that's going to be revealed this week on Young and the Restless. Initially, I thought she was going to be part of another storyline, but once I saw the Jack Abbott kidnap stuff, I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Thursday this week, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, comes over to tell Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, that Victor Newman said if Billy doesn't hand Chancellor back by the end of the day, they'll never see Jack Abbott again. Of course, Kyle and Diane are going to spring into action. I'm betting Kyle is going to talk to Claire, and Diane Jenkins might try to appeal to Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott. Also, that same day, spoilers say that Jack Abbott gets a rude awakening. I think that might mean, literally, like Jack Abbott wakes up and maybe finds crazy Patty Williams staring at him. If you're a longtime Young and the Restless watcher, you know that Jack Abbott and Patty Williams have a very long and really twisted past. Victor Newman has used Patty Williams against Jack Abbott before. A couple of times. Plus, this feels like a complete redux of a plot years ago. Maybe you remember when Victor Newman brought Marco Anicelli to Genoa City to take Jack Abbott's place, because they look just like him. They're doppelgangers. Then Victor Newman kidnapped Jack Abbott and left him in a remote tropical scene. It was crazy Kelly Andrews who had him then. She was played by Katie McLean, and she was totally unhinged. Kelly Andrews raped, starved, and assaulted Jack Abbott. Ultimately, Kelly Andrews tried to kill him because he didn't love her and wasn't ever going to love her. Kelly Andrews also drugged and tried to brainwash Jack Abbott. Meanwhile, Victor had drug lord Marco marry Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, who thought he legitimately was Jack Abbott. That incident of putting a stranger in her bed, basically raping her for months, is exactly why Phyllis hates Victor so much. He has never paid so much as a lick for what he did to Phyllis. In the end, Jack woke up to find Kelly dead next to him. He took off, and it was never clear if Jack stabbed her while on all these drugs she gave him, or if Victor or a henchman did it to further terrorize Jack. I don't think he did it. And let's be real, Victor is just as ruthless, if not more ruthless now, than he was before. He just lost everything he built. He lost all his power, and he can't stand it. So Victor may be redoing the same despicable move he made against Jack a decade ago with the Kelly kidnapping. But since she's dead, Victor can't give Jack to her again. However, Patty is just as obsessed with Jack as Kelly was. Just to be clear, Stacey Hyduck was the fourth actress to play Patty, but I'm only going to show you pictures of Stacey Hyduck in the role just for clarity, because she is the most well-known one in the role, and she is the one who's coming back to Young and the Restless very soon, possibly as soon as this week. Now, we don't know for sure that she's back for Jack, but given his kidnapping, it looks plausible. Back in the early 80s, Patty Williams was innocent. She was very young, and she fell in love with Jack Abbott, who was a total playboy cad at the time. But Patty really loved him. Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, and Diane Jenkins, who was a model for Jabet back then. Both caused a lot of problems for Patty in this romance. Jack Abbott wound up marrying Patty Williams to prove something to his father, John Abbott. On Jack and Patty's wedding day, he nearly missed the wedding because he was in bed with Diane Jenkins, but he crawled out of the sheets, walked down the aisle thanks to Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, and Jack Abbott married Patty Williams. He kept right on sleeping with Diane. Then Patty Williams got pregnant with Jack Abbott's child. And Jill made sure that Patty saw Jack having sex with Diane at the office. Patty was horrified and heartbroken. She ran off, tripped over a plant, and she fell and miscarried her and Jack's baby. But still, Patty still stayed with Jack. After she recovered, Patty wanted to try again for a baby. Then she overheard Jack telling Jill that he only married Patty so his dad John would make him president of Jabot. So, Patty threatened to kill herself, but Jack Abbott begged Patty to shoot him instead. So she did. In fact, she shot Jack Abbott 3 times, and he was temporarily paralyzed. Shooting Jack drove Patty off the deep end, although to be fair, she was always mentally kind of fragile. But Jack really did break her. Years down the road, Patty returned. Victor had gotten her plastic surgery to have a new face. That was when they did the actress change to Stacy Hyduck. She got a job at Jabot calling herself Mary Jane Benson, and she seduced Jack. He fell in love with her, no idea who she was. Then her mental health started to crumble because Patty has never been stable. She was revealed then to be Patty, and not this Mary Jane person she was pretending to be. Victor realized that Patty was legit psycho, and he tried to pay her to leave town without implicating him. Paul found out, and he was furious that Victor used his fragile sister this way, especially since Paul thought he and Victor were friends. Of course, Victor lied and denied. In the end, Patty shot Victor 3 times for what he did to Jack. Victor ended up needing a heart transplant and survived it. If you don't recall, it was Tracy Abbott's daughter's heart that saved him. But Victor still wants to ruin all the Abbotts because, no appreciation. Then we had Dr. Emily Peterson come on, and she looked just like Patty. Jack met her. That freaked him out, but then he overlooked it and fell for Emily and proposed. Then crazy Patty Williams came to town and took Emily's place since they looked just alike. Jack actually married Patty thinking it was Emily and was horrified when the truth came out. Patty did a lot more crazy things. She's still obsessed with Jack and has been for decades. And she worked with Victor before. With Patty coming back in March, I think it may be for Jack. Last we saw, she was in a psych hospital. Victor might snatch Jack, drug him, and drop him in the same mental ward where Patty is. Or Victor might set Patty up in some remote cabin or something and drop Jack there as her prisoner. That way, he's got nowhere to run like he did with Kelly Andrews. Victor can use Jack against Billy to force him to give Chancellor back. Of course, Victor might also punish Diane. If Patty ends up getting Jack in her bed, in Patty's mind, she might see this as her opportunity to get another chance with Jack. Plus, Patty hates Diane for sleeping with Jack when they were married. So Patty might enjoy some revenge on Diane as well. Could Patty Williams be the next Y&R villain? We'll see how it all goes down. Patty's return is going to be wild. I'm here for it. And I really hope she's the one who has Jack, rather than, say, somebody murderous like Matt Clark. Genoa City has seen kidnappings before, betrayals, poisonings, fake deaths. But this feels personal. When whispers begin circulating that Patty Williams, the unhinged, unpredictable force long known as Crazy Patty, may have resurfaced, and that Jack Abbott is missing, the town freezes, and one question rises above the panic. Is this random madness, or is this Victor Newman finally crossing a line no one can forgive? It starts subtly. Jack misses a board meeting at Jabot. That alone is unusual. Jack Abbott lives for corporate warfare. Then he doesn't answer calls from Diane,